It is at this historic Uhuru Park grounds on 29th December 2002 that Mwai Kibaki was sworn in as Kenya's third president as the National Rainbow Coalition, NAC, wrestled power from the Independence Party, KANU. However, it emerges that heavy political intrigues were at play, whose climax was a near-chaotic swearing-in ceremony. Call it the 2002 Kibaki Inauguration Intrigues, the untold story. My name is Duncan Haemba. The Tuesday, December 3rd, 2002 accident nearly shattered Mwai Kibaki's political dream that was just a heartbeat away from becoming a reality. Then politically lethal National Rainbow Coalition, NAC, whose wave had enveloped almost the entire country, for a moment was thrown off balance. With only 3 weeks to the general election, the coalition's presidential flag bearer Mwai Kibaki and his vice president designate Michael Kijana Wamalwa were both admitted in London's Wellington Hospital. It is a situation that forced then Lang'ata Member of Parliament Raila Amolo Odinga, who was leading the LDP faction within NAC, to suspend his campaigns for the Lang'ata constituency parliamentary seat and lead NAC's presidential campaign with the help of other NAC luminaries Charity Ngilu, Kipruto Arap Kirwa, Kalonzo Musyoka, Moody Awori, the late Professor George Saitoti, Dr. Muhisa Kitui, Martha Karua, Kiraito Murungi, JB Kilimo, among others, in fending off KANU's presidential candidate Uhuru Kenyatta, whose campaign machinery was intact. Due to the injuries he sustained, Mwai Kibaki was confined to a wheelchair for some time. And even Kibaki's Mercedes-Benz had to undergo some modification to enable him cast his vote in Othaya, Nyeri on the historic voting day, December 27th.
And literally I closed my practice. I spent day and night with him. Even on the day of voting, we drove to Nyeri to cast his vote. He was still in a bit of pain here, and I told him, do you think I should go to this voting with all these pains? I told him, Mr. President, he used to go, so we must go because we must cast the vote, and we must show the people that we are also voting. Of course, we had to do something to the Mercedes-Benz to allow leg space. You remove the first passenger seat, still the back seat, to have a leg space. And we were able to go to Nyeri and vote and back. When we got to the polling station, we couldn't get out of the car. But we voted from outside just outside the car. But at least he cast his vote, and the cameras were there, and he gave people the reason to come out and vote, even in big numbers. Then we drove back to Nairobi. But those days, as I say, it was around the clock care. We could not risk leaving him even for a second, just in case something happened. We had a team. We had a team of nurses, physiotherapists, and we were there all the time.
And so the voting across the country took place. Political battle lines had been drawn. Kenya was on the verge of making history. It was a momentous occasion for Kenya. For the first time, a president would be handing over power to his successor, President Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi, also known as the Professor of Politics, who had straddled the Kenyan political arena like a colossus for 24 years, was calling it a day.
Nilisema mwaka wa 98 kwamba nitajiuzulu ama nitastaafu kipindi hiki cha miaka 5 ikisha. Wengine hawakuamini kwa sababu wanaamini power katika kontinenti la Afrika kwamba kuna mtu anaweza kuwacha power ya urais. Power iko kwa wananchi, na sisi tu ni wadhamini yao. Na ndio nataka kuambia wananchi wetu wanaotafuta democracy, tafadhali muwe na principle ya kuamini yale mnayoamini. Nasema haya kwa sababu nitaondoka kwa siasa ya moto mina kwa raia mwema, lakini wale wanaozingatia kuongoza, msiweke Kenya chini, msiweke msingi wa siasa zenu kwa chuki. Kama yuko mtu ametukana mimi, namsamehe. Na kama yuko mtu ambaye nimesema chochote ambaye kimeumiza roho yake, unisamehe.
People must remember that Moi took over this nation when we were 15 years old, in the context of a republic. You know, the president had been in power for only 15 years. So this was a young nation that Moi was taking over. So many people were caught by surprise. Moi himself, because he did not anticipate the death of Jomo Kenyatta. And the other people who were in the center court of the Moi government were also taken by surprise. So here is a man taking over an infrastructure that was not his. Here is a man taking over at a fairly young age. Here is a man taking over within in an area where there's a center court of people who did not necessarily like him. So he's a man who took over this country under very complex circumstances. Tragic, but complex.
Wycliffe Musalia Mudavadi, who had joined President Moi's cabinet at the age of 28 years, was the last to serve as Moi's vice president, having been appointed about 3 months before Moi retired as president.
Whether we like it or not, let us at least appreciate that this is an individual who held the country for 24 years. You know, a quarter of a century, somebody at the helm, but he still maintained a unified nation. The internal dynamics aside, but this country remained a country that has had its degree of respect in the community of nations. Now that is something you cannot take away from Moi.
William Ruto, former KANU member and Secretary General, talks of intrigues within the KANU party on Moi's succession race.
The former president had decided that he wanted Uhuru Kenyatta to be the flag bearer of KANU. And having made that decision, the mechanics of how to get that happen now became the issue. A few of us who were then around there tried to persuade him to leave it to us to manage, you know, the whole scenario, so that it doesn't bring about a fallout in the party. And we were unsuccessful in persuading it to leave it to us. And therefore he pushed, because, and you know, the harder he pushed, the more uncomfortable it became. And even Uhuru Kenyatta himself would have wanted it done differently.
June, nimetangaza I'm running for president. Naye mzee Moi anaenda anasema Wakalenjin walitokea sijui mlima Elgon, akatangaza candidature ya Uhuru kule. Nikabiti hiyo deadline yake, basi kikaumana sasa. Rainbow. Mimi nikaanzisha rainbow, inchi ikawa rainbow. Kumbe na kina Kibaki na kina Charity Ngilu na Wamalwa nao kwa na NK ambayo haina nguvu. Okay? Ilikuja ikawa energized na rainbow.
We have negotiated, we have gone through very difficult process of negotiations. I know many of our friends may not have been happy with what we have been doing. We have been called names. We have been told that we will not get anywhere. But I want to say that those prophets of doom have now been proved wrong.
Rainbow and NAC are today in the same democratic boat.
Today, we are gathering to cement our unity ahead of victory.
This is the ultimate solution to the removal of Moi from power and the casting to the bushes of his so-called project.
This initiative was inspired by one burning desire by the Kenyans to see a united democratic front within the opposition that can rid this country of authoritarian rule and restore democracy to our motherland.
Our complete undoing was when they went and teamed up with the Kibaki team. Then our goose got cooked. That song reminds me of Uhuru Park, those days. We were so much in trouble.
Towards the end, it was very challenging because we were all in the field in the build-up to the election. Even though I was vice president, I was constantly in the field at that time, campaigning with Uhuru Kenyatta. All over the country, we were moving around. We would meet, we would have morning briefs after we've been to the field and have a cup of tea with him, talk about the election campaign. But one thing is that even though he may have been privy to intelligence reports on how KANU was performing, he did not in any way discourage us from continuing with the campaign at that time.